Alrighty, Roo, we should be back. I don't see the what do you call it? The Hill Champion thing? Yeah, I should be back already. The Hill Champion thing should be okay. OBSC. Hello! Yay! Okay, we're back. So let's try that again. Nope. Buttons are all screwed all up. No worries. It's normal. More. There we go. Let's try that. This one. Nope. Not. Okay. So, yeah, my, pieces are falling apart, but that's okay. It seems to be falling apart. Yes, I want to close that. The heck? That's weird. Welcome back, Mr. Neon Traveler, who's double first again. Okay. What we're gonna do, once we get this rolling, is we'll take a quick break. And it sounds odd, but I owe Fantastic Sherlock Fox a package of some marble tracks, so we'll do a brief switch over to that once I can confirm everything's running, and then we will get ourselves rolling again. Because, you know, you can't win them all, right? Part of this seems to be working. Are we up? Maybe? Kinda? Sorta? Maybe? Okay, well. Yes, good, good. We seem to be back. Ish. As I said in DC's Discord one day, that it seems like every time I do a stream, there's always something that's screwed up. You know? It's never perfect. Good morning, B Silver Bee. Good morning, Neon Traveler again. Good morning, Tiz. Hello, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Oh, whatever. There's a little bit of lag going on in my Minecraft game, so I'm hoping it's not my client, but it could be. Could very well be. I'm going to have to repair my tools pretty soon here. You run for some iron. All right. Yes, you know what? I'm starting to think that is really, really rigged. Really rigged. The match. Well, I mean, I guess it beats the frying pan or the toilet plunger, I suppose. Okay. I'm just gonna throw my character in a tower. And we're just gonna have a quick freeze and head over to marbles. It's probably our best bet. Just going to double check. Where are we? This one. And up to race. Okay, we can handle this. Maybe. Let's try a quick swap and see what we get. Okay, so we've got the chat on the corner. Apologies for that. But we are going to do a Grand Prix. I think it was a package of 5 races, we had said. And we're going to use votes. So feel free to type an exclamation point and vote. And we have any number from 1 through to, I believe it's 70, I think. Come on. Yeah, 1 through 70. So feel free to get your votes in. And any number you like, exclamation point vote. Vote 18, okay. I think you can only vote once. But if you want a different one, then feel free to just give some numbers and we'll put those ones in as well. Otherwise, I can fill it up with some random maps. So we only need 4 more. If there's anything that sounds interesting, go ahead and put an exclamation point in there. Buckshot, so we've got 2. Excellent. Anyone else? The local stats. 53, okay. So let's go with that one. 53. Yep, that made it in there. 42. Cancel Life Universe and everything, Neon. 42, yep. Pixels, procedural journey, so we got 2. Just making sure I haven't got too many any extras. 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 picked. I guess that seems to be it. Does anybody else have a favorite? Tom, for example? Or Tiz? Do you guys have favorite maps? If not, I'll just random up a couple more. Okay, let's go with that. Then I will just click in a couple random ones. Random. And one more random. And let's rock it. So this is because Fantastic Sherlock Fox had claimed some points for a package of 4 races, or 5 races, and he did not actually get them yesterday. So this is why we're doing it this way. This could be interesting. Did it freeze up? No, it did not. Okay. I'm trying to figure out why it wouldn't let me actually get in there. This is the point at which you type exclamation point play to get your name in there. We'll start on this side and then it wraps around to the other side. You can sort of see where the finish bin is off to the end. Perfect. Get myself in there. You can get all the names on. Is it that one? Nope. Not that one. There we go. We got 3 in so far. I do recognize at this point of the day that there actually probably are quite a few people who are just at work and AFK and just have us on in the background, so I'm totally okay with that if people are just working. It could just be the 3 of us. Excuse me. Just needed that water, so we'll claim it. It thinks it's coffee, but we're gonna go with it.
2, 4, 6, 8, everybody hydrate!
Yeah, normally it would be coffee at this point. I just left my coffee upstairs and didn't think about it, so it's all good. Alright, so we got 4 in so far. Let's see if we've got everybody we want. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So B Silver B, Neon Traveler, Villain, and Fantastic Sherlock Fox. I think that's everybody. So let's just rock and roll this one and see where it goes. So we've got Fantastic Sherlock Fox with the lead. At the moment, we don't have a local record on this map. Interesting, sort of almost like a snakeskin style pattern on this one. You're betting your marble gets yeeted at least once. Hehehe.
Oh, AZXG___designs. Thanks for putting that follow.
You said it, Oswin. Thank you ever so much for that follow. I am going to bet. Actually, I'm not going to bet. What I say often ends up with my foot in my mouth. We've got... I'm leading at the moment, but then Neon's struggling to take over. If I win, it's rigged. Guaranteed. I don't recall rigging it, but hey. Usually between the two of us, myself and Fantastic Sherlock Fox, we're usually... one of us has to play sweeper on all walks and hikes, so not too surprised. Neon got stopped by the pins, but at least you didn't get yeeted off the track. Then again, went for a bit of a stretch, a bit of a fly. Looks like I've got this one. Followed in by B Silver B and Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Congratulations to everyone. I'm sorry, Neon. Not quite what I intended. Alright. So then next up... rigged! Total rigged! Okay. So the next map we're moving on to is called Buckshot. Join in there. So once again, if you want to be in on this one, exclamation point play. Okay. There's Glenn B, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Neon, are you in on this one? There we go. Neon's there as well. And once again, anyone else is welcome. Just type exclamation point play. I know Tiz was in earlier, and there's probably one or two more that are just hanging out. So I know my game says that I'm playing Minecraft, which is not accurate, but it's not worth changing at this point because we're not going to be here for all that long. So we've got 10 more seconds for everybody to get in. Otherwise, it's gonna roll. I did Neon, actually. And unfortunately, my fine friend, you got yeeted. Yeah. You're doing really, really well, and then the game just decided that it didn't want to have your peg in the game. I will say that was probably one of the best yeets I've seen yet. It went pretty much straight up, and it looked like it was going to come back. And nope, kind of missed. Missed the track. It was rigged, yep. And just as good because I'm getting my marbles fixed today because I won't be here on the weekend. Ooh! I won't be here on the weekend to be able to watch in other people's streams like Carnage Joe. Just not something that I wanted to miss, but hey, it works out. And if I'm busy freezing myself, then that's just the way it is. So while I may be in the lead now, we'll see where we are when we all hit the end Buckshot. Neon's closer. Oh, Fantastic Sherlock Fox in third. Let's see if can B beat that. Come on, B Silver B. Yay! Neon's close, but B came in second. That's awesome. Congratulations to you too. Fantastic Sherlock Fox. I'm not quite sure what happened there. You tried. Okay, let's go on to the third one, which is the dojo. It feels rigged when that happens, huh? Alright, so once again, exclamation point play. Marbling. This one actually looks pretty cool. I like the way this one looks with all the sort of the neat little path. That's pretty neat. I like that one. Okay, so we've got B Silver B, Fantastic Sherlock Fox, myself. Neon, are you in on this one? You may be on a call, so I do understand. Anyone else who wants in is just type exclamation point play. Give another couple of seconds here. There we are. Alright. Those are our usual crew. I don't see anyone else, so let's Oops. Let's get this one on the road. And I paused it. Weird. Oh, I know I did. I hit the T by mistake. That's a time warp thing. There we go. Fantastic Sherlock Fox is taking his own road. Where is everybody? There? Oh, there we go. And B Silver B has the early lead. My camera skills are a little weak, so we're going to need some practice on this one. Oh, B, you're really rocketing through this one. Looking good. Nice, made the jump. And Neon made the jump as well. And here comes Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Excellent. Roll through that part. These pins are doing a good job of slowing people down and giving them a little bit of a bounce. Oh, and not enough momentum on that one, B. Sorry to see that. The Neon's made it. Looks like he's got the lead now. Dylan is through. And Fantastic Sherlock Fox, are you through? Just. Awesome. Oh, I spoke too soon. Fantastic Sherlock Fox went looking for B Silver B. So can Neon keep his lead? Or are the spinning posts going to get him? The fox is toast. That's why we got bounced back? Okay. Neon's doing a good job making it through. Oh, and he just got thrown over the edge. I guess this one's mine. If I don't get yeeted. One of those, do we even want to complete? I guess we need a time, right? That's the key. We need a time to work with for next time. Stairs are cool. Okay, we'll skip that one. So, yeah, a couple of DNFs. So now we're on to the Tundra Tumble. That's not a Tundra Tumble. Loading. Ooh! Yay! I like these kind. Join. So we start out inside our snow globe. We got Fantastic Sherlock Fox and B Silver B. Ah, a couple spinners. Nice. Okay. And Neon Traveler. Okay, so we've got our usual 4. Once again, if there's anyone else who wants to be in on this, just type in !play. And we are on 4 of 5, so this is our second last race. So if anyone wants in, just jump on in. May we all finish? Yes! I totally agree with you. Okay. See if I can drive any better on this one. Like that snowman's making me dizzy. Oh, and it's got noises on this one. Okay. Neon's off to a solid early lead. Like it's this time, it's my turn to bring up the rear. Neon's definitely off to a very good start. He's going to be fairly hot on his heels. He's got a good lead over the rest of the pack as well. Neon's really got this one sealed up, which would be a nice feeling considering that he didn't manage to make it through some of the other races. We're getting yeeted pretty heavily. Trail sweep is awesome! My favorite position! Plenty of time left to get yeeted. Yeah, exactly. I have to be careful what I say, though. sometimes I said, oh no, you'll be fine, you're not gonna get, and then boom, somebody gets chucked. It's like, well, oop, Neon Traveler's into the snowflake spinner. Doesn't look like much of a snowflake from this angle, though. Looks like the pins are posing a problem for B Silver B. But Neon made it through the ball shake, or whatever they want to call that thing. And it looks like he's on the home stretch. Nice. Now, can we all make it through without falling off? Neon's got this one in the bag. Awesome. Congratulations, Neon. Here comes Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Who's going to make it out third? Is it going to be B or Delenn? Those hidden spikes were a bit of a surprise. B's like, I'm just going to chill up here. That's okay. We'll just spin around a little bit more. She's got a nice slalom pattern going on down the track. And Fantastic Sherlock Fox is in for second. B's coming around the loop. Here we are. Looks like it's a safe run down to the end. And let's see. Nobody has to worry about the fire, but we did actually stick around long enough for it to happen. Congratulations, Neon! Awesome! So everybody made it this time! Exactly what B asked for! Okay, so last and final map coming up. Twists and turns. Wonder if we've got one of those funnel things. Let's see. Oh, yep, I called it. Okay, we've got one of those funnels. What else do we have? Ooh, it's a series of funnels. Okay. With some rather sketchy shapes. Alright. Well, I guess the only one who's not in here is me. Aha. Dumb. Okay. So let's roll. This is the last map, and then we'll get ourselves back to some Lego. Lego. Wow. Some Minecraft. And Neon's hot out of the race. Wants to get that little bit of extra speed, keep him high up on the funnel. Let's see who comes out of the funnel first. The only problem with the funnels is they seem to take forever. But I mean, I guess that happens too when you get the coin funnels at like malls and libraries and science centers and so on for donations. Is they almost always take forever to come out of. Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I are on a race. On a pull for each other. And we've got Neon and B Silver B coming on through. Yeah, the slower in is faster out because you get more gravity drop for sure. I used to love putting in, the dime or the quarter or whatever in the big coin funnels, and just watching them go round and round and round. So you get down to the center and then they start spinning faster, but it seems to almost float for a little bit. Pretty cool. One of our one of our water parks in the city has I think, no, it's one of the water parks in Arches City, has a slide that has one of these funnel things at the bottom, and you actually go around the outside of it before you drop down through the middle into the splash pool. Pretty cool. I enjoyed that one. Makes you a little dizzy, but it's fun nonetheless. Fin fans, will they slow anybody down? Looks like not on the first two. Neon's like, I've got no plans to share with B. We're going over here. Nobody in my way. And B made it out ahead of him. But it looks like nobody's heated this round, which is very good. Very, very good to see. As we pass the 2-minute mark. And there we go. Alright, so final results for this one. Me in first, Fantastic Sherlock Fox in second, B in third, and Neon bringing up the rear with a very respectable fourth with just 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Alright. And the grand winner is probably rigged. Usually rigged, isn't it? Fantastic Sherlock Fox in third. Neon Traveler in second. And me. Which was not a given, and it feels rigged. But that's okay. Nice. Alright. So we're going to get ourselves back to the, whatever the other game was. I think Street. Please. There we go. It must be raining in Minecraft. Back to Minecraft. And I was there long enough that absolutely every single one of my birch saplings despawned. Skippy skippy. See if we've got any in storage.
Hello.
Negatory. Okay, that's not good. Hello, Wolfen. How are you today? We just got back into Minecraft after a brief run from Marbles. Fantastic Sherlock Fox paid for yesterday, and I just got sidetracked and didn't end up actually running it. So we just got through that one. Putting in one more building for this place, and it's still going to need organization. So yeah, and then we can start splitting up our villagers into their various houses. And the house is not very purpose-built, so I think we're going to need to try and change that up. And see if we can figure out which buildings are best for different people. The main building over here is supposed... Oh, and I didn't even finish these other ones. Silly me. The main building is supposed to be more of the major hall, so if anything, I'd like to have less villagers inside that, if I can manage that by any chance. 23? That didn't help. I need more than that. 43? Sure. We'll go with that. Because I forgot to do the outside. Ha ha ha. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, breakfast. Breakfast is overrated, isn't it? Isn't that what they say? No, I'm just kidding. If you need a break for breakfast, feel free to take the break when you need breakfast. Not a problem. Whoa. Oops. We have just a bit of lag going on this morning, which is odd because there aren't a whole ton of people on here, so I'm wondering what it is that's either going wrong with my client or what it is somebody has built on the server to become a lag monster. Because I would not put it past people not to have lag monsters on here. We did last season, probably will this season. It's just the way things go. Pardon me. Yeah, you've got coffee. Well, it's 2 steps ahead of me. Okay, so I want to make sure I've got putting oak trapdoors on top of the oak cross beams for a little bit of texture. It's not ideal, but it does what we need, and I didn't finish on the most recent building, so I'll start there, and then we'll build another. So, this part done. Some of these will need repurposing, because they don't have holes in the roof, whereas you should have a hole in the roof if you're not building a chimney. So yes, these ones are on DC's server, not following DC's chimney rules. Timeline is it's too early. It's not that I don't want to build them, but in this period of time, they didn't understand about freestanding chimneys. The closest they ever got was you put a hole in the roof so you don't suffocate yourself. That's all you got. Uh-oh, and I also composted all of the oak saplings. Wow. Glenn, winner, chicken dinner on that one. Well, you make mistakes, right? Isn't that how it goes? We all make mistakes from time to time. I will get part of the birch done, and then we'll go for a bit of a chopping session out in the wild. So 1, 2, and 3 blocks free over there. So 1, 2, 3 blocks free over here. This far back? Right, that. Okay. 4, 9. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm assuming I had 13, but it really doesn't matter. I just go. Oops. 5, 6, 7, 8, 13. Fantastic Sherlock Fox saves the day. I have coffee now. Cheers. But weirdly, I think it has ice in it. Good going, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Awesome. Yeah. Normally have my coffee cup with me because Fantastic Sherlock Fox is awesome. But I don't always, and I wasn't organized today. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Service with a smile. For sure. 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Pop this off. Wait a minute. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're good. Okay. That'll be big enough. That's got a little bit more space at this end. Really? I don't even know what each of these buildings is going to be for. I mean, it's not a proper shape if it's going to be a blacksmith, but then again, we've seen some blacksmith shows where you got a warehouse, you're doing good. Yes, I will eventually need doors, but let's get these ones done. We can have a pen to highly annoy the golem, or the, sorry, yeah, the golem. There we go, yeah. And then we'll go get more, oh, hopefully have some in storage. I always wrote Chopping Wild. For those of you that have ads, my apologies. We have an ad that's about to start. If it hasn't already. And those are timed to be as unintrusive as possible. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily work out that way for everybody. But if I do one roughly the top of the hour, then that should get us a few minutes afterwards, where we don't have to deal with ads for a bit when people first come in. Oh, whoops, one corner. Oh, I got that one. But, yeah. Helpful, yes. And it's only Thursday. But I'm curious to know. Oh, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Always trying to throw yourself under the bus. I'm curious to know if people already have plans for their weekend. Just because I do doesn't mean that everybody else does yet. So I'm really interested. See, if you have plans, what is it you're up to? Because it's kind of fun. One. Breakfast is usually coffee and sourdough toast, so bread in the toast oven. Yum. Yumma yumma. One, that one, I think. Doesn't feel right. I'm missing something. I think actually, while I absolutely love discussing food, sometimes it's kind of tempting not to, only because it makes me hungry, but The food conversations are so interesting. I like finding out what people have. Some people eat breakfast, some people don't. Some people sort of don't, but they have plans for what they would have if they had time to shovel something in really quickly. Speaking of strange breakfasts, I mean, like Fantastic Truck Fox was saying, naan bread, which isn't normally a breakfast food. This weekend for camp, the kids have opted oatmeal for the first day. Okay, sure, nothing too exciting about that. But then for the second day, they decided they wanted, I kid you not, they wanted ramen for breakfast. And they wanted to we said, okay, well, what's your protein? Because we were hoping that we'd be able to dissuade them from that. And their response was, well, some of us like egg in it and some of us don't. So for those that don't like egg in it, maybe we can have, they wanted ham, I think it was. It was odd, but okay. I mean, when you're at a camp where you're going to be cold, you want something particular warm, even if it's an odd thing, I guess you just go with it. We'll see how it works. I'm not sure how that's going to work on the second day, because the second day is the day they usually spend a lot of time packing up before they actually, like, they can make their breakfast, spend an awful lot of time packing up. Or what frequently will happen is, because you have multiple tents, then the tent partners will do a lot of the packing up of the tent section while the other ones are cooking, but it still means you have to have all your personal gear ready to go at that point, so we'll just see how it turns out. I'm sort of curious. 1, 2.5. I don't want them as tall as usual. This 3, and then one more. Where's the? Where did I put these ones? There we go. That, and then I put a slab in here and do some flooring. I'd love to have a big breakfast like that. You're right. I don't think I've ever actually had biscuits and gravy for breakfast, except when I've been traveling. And when you're traveling, you eat whatever is yummy on the hotel menu, and you sort of pretend that travel calories don't count to anything. It's like when people say, you know, I'm having Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. Calories don't count. Fantastic Chocolate Fox was telling me the other day we were eating a box of, I think it was Godiva branded chocolates that somebody gifted us at New Year's. And he's like, yep, so those are zero cal chocolates. Have as many as you like. I just said, I know they're not 0 cal chocolates, but I still had as many as I felt like anyways. Like, yeah, I know I'll pay for it later, but it's not a matter of skipping breakfast. Truth is, it's the inconsistent meals that are the bigger issue. I mean, well, that lack of activity, but the inconsistent meals are huge in terms of problems, because then the system will grab whatever calories it can get, because it thinks it doesn't know when the next meal is coming. And not knowing when the next meal is coming is problematic. No, I don't think I like that. I'm gonna move it. This one, that one. Is it just me, or did I just get rid of those stairs? Alright, one in, and then the stairs again. 1, 2. An old saying B. Silverby had heard was, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. Interesting saying. Similar to what I'd heard, but not quite the same. The version I had heard was, if you're going to be having heavy meals, breakfast and dinner are the better time to have them. Because both of those, like, one is fueling you up for your day. You have a lighter one in the middle because it's your, it's a midday meal, but your body's still expecting you'll have a bigger one later. Pardon me. And then you've got a larger one to carry you through what's essentially a fast. I mean, breakfast is just that, breaking your fast. So technically, any meal you eat that's your first meal of the day is actually breakfast. Why am I building this taller? habit, I suppose. But I don't need to. I'm gonna make it the same size as that one, so I really don't need this big. So anyway, the idea being then, if you're going to be skipping any meal, then it really should be your lunch, right? To spread out the meals you've got during the day. And some people say the heartiest meal should be breakfast, simply because then you've got yourself fueled up for the day and your body will actually release that energy during the day. On the other hand, some of those same quote-unquote experts are also in the camp that says you should be having a solid, slow burn snack overnight, so that as your body releases the energy, it also releases heat. Don't know about you, but during most of the year, that's not practical advice. I don't like the idea of sweating at home or in bed. No, that's not what I want. That should work a little better. Every one of these is different, isn't it? Thank you. Thank you for the bless you. It actually wasn't a sneeze, but I do appreciate the thought behind it nonetheless. I just had to clear my throat. And it was either doing that on camera or mute things properly. Oh, exactly. No, I totally agree. I tried eating according to my laziness, or my hunger, as you may have called it. And the only reason it didn't work for me is, once again, my system would grab anything and everything, just because it didn't know when the next major meal was coming up. So I'm quite spoiled that Fantastic Sherlock Fox doesn't mind doing the heavy lift of the cooking in our family. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. He cooks. I make food edible. That's really all there is to it. So he makes far better meals than I do. We all get into ruts and stuff, and sometimes I like really, really plain things. So as in currently I'm on a kick where I'm not a fan of spice in terms of heat. I don't mind, spices in terms of making the food taste richer. But heat is just not one that works for me right now. And that's posing a problem for him, which I didn't think our kids would be into heat, but apparently they're far more into heat in their dishes than I had expected. So, it makes things a little bit challenging. That's okay. I mean, there are some dishes that Fantastic Sherlock Fox eats where I don't know how he can taste it, just because I find there's just too much bite from the actual heat itself. And then there's one that he knows, generally, I can guarantee you he'll probably make it this weekend, because it doesn't bother my daughter a whole lot. But it bothers me, and it's a chicken and mushroom dish with black pepper sauce. But I find the amount of black pepper in there is just far too much for me to handle when the thing gets airborne during the cooking process. It somehow sets off my, well, not just sneezes, but it sets off like an itch or a burn that I just can't deal with. But yeah, the other part about it is sometimes if a dish is really, really tasty, if I was to, my hunger meter gets ignored because I think I'm hungrier for it than I really am. It's just that it tasted so good I want more, whether or not it was really wise. So there's a lot of those pieces. I actually am doing this whole food tracking biz, and not necessarily useful, but it keeps me conscious of it, which is why I continue to do it. So it keeps me conscious of how much I'm taking in, and I'm just hoping that it'll work out in the end. 1, 2, 3. Yep. I am so disorganized today. I'm doing this all backwards. This way. Leave. This one comes across being oak. Would be birch at the top. Okay, got it. Got it. mentioned a while back that I'm being anachronistic about this, and what I mean is that the time periods are really mixed up and really mushed together. So, the period of the castle that we've got right now is actually pre the period that I'm aiming for, but it's sort of like right about the time where some of the renovations would have happened and switched a lot of it to stone. So the first castle of Shrewsbury was actually more wood, like all this stuff was wood too. And then they've transitioned the keep and the towers and stuff to stone, and would have made all the buildings stone and such, so that the town walls and so forth would be stone, which is where we're going to go with it later in this build. That's why there's no chimneys above the roof line right now, is just that they wouldn't have had them in that period. There we go. And then when I move to the buildings outside this, we're going to go a little bit more classic medieval with either cobble or stone or, you know, mossy stone, like all that jazz will come into play. I haven't had the opportunity to do that sort of build myself. Prior to this, my brain had gone with the idea that, oh, everybody does it. It's been done 6 million times before and nobody wants to see that jazz. And whether they do or don't, that's fine, but we're going to be building houses like that. I'm doing trapdoors again. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to dig into that coffee again. These ones out. There, stairs. I don't think 48 will do. Let's get us back up there though, just in case. And I guess I'm gonna need a torch or two. This is a little dark. I can go back up now. Yeah, so we're gonna go more classic medieval for the stuff outside. And I really should be moving on to the monastery soon. I'm debating whether I'm going to try and design from old pictures of what things might have looked like, but in the somewhere between the 1400s and 1600s, the majority of the Shrewsbury Monastery got completely gutted by the start was by, you guessed it, from my complaints earlier, a gentleman by the name of Thomas Telford, who also wrecked the castle. And I can't remember which one it is. I think I said before, it's the A5, I believe it was, that was promptly and unceremoniously plunked right through the middle of the Abbey grounds. So rather than try to come up with a Norman medieval monastery concept, I may actually save myself a little bit of headache and some time and go with a very pretty, oh jeez, I don't need that. I may go with a very pretty cathedral temple thing based on one of the Zelda novels. I know it's completely sounding not related to what I've been doing thus far, but I was looking at some of the pictures and the styling of it is actually somewhat gothic, so someone has gone to the trouble of making one that's a semi-gothic style, so I might actually work with that. And I mean, the thing about these builds is you can always build them more than once. And if I'm doing a monastery, then it really doesn't matter what one building looks like. I have excuse to change up the rest of it if I wish. Yeah, that's part of my... That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Isn't that how it goes? One here. Let's peel these puppies up. They'll be the ones I can't reach all that effectively. I will say, after all that, you guys are making me a little hungry. Funny when I think about streamers and streaming, there's so many different people. It's not just the Minecraft community, but there's so many different people I want to watch that are all on at the same time that I had to make decisions on who I wanted to overlap with And because I didn't have as many streamers to watch that I enjoyed when I first started streaming, pardon me, it felt like the time slot was empty and uncrowded. And now that's not the case. So I'm very glad that we have the friendly community we do, who don't mind colliding with one another for the most part, even though we all end up recognizing that we split our communities. But I also like the fact that everybody is willing to abide by DadCaff's general request that, particularly when we're streaming from his servers, that we don't overlap with him. I mean, there's some exceptions to that guideline, and I would assume things like potentially Cookie-thon, if it completely and utterly disrupts a whole ton of streamers, then there might be some leeway there. But on the whole, it's not something we usually see. But I'm thinking about the fact that I stream while my kids are in school. I was right. I didn't have enough. Anyways, I stream when my kids are in school. And that works pretty well most of the time. But it ends up being 2 hours later for those to the east, right? So some of the crew that hangs with me, they're on their work lunch hours. And then they have to go back to work, so they may drop off or go get their kids or whatever it is they do. And for some, it's the morning set if you're west. There's the one. But overall, it's not a highly congested slot. But it makes it challenging because, it's not just me. There's plenty of other ones that want to stream, and because they have real lives and day jobs and so forth, it doesn't always work for them to be able to find a good slot without crashing into somebody. It becomes all about the choices, right? should be enough. You generally have someone stream going all day, and yes, there's some overlap often. Exactly. It's quite common to hear people talking about, oh, I guess I'm, double parked, multi-parked, or whatever. Which basically, as I understand it, it pretty much means that you've got a tab for multiple different people open on your screen, and then they end up raiding into one another, so that you end up with multi-tabs of the same person. I find that a lot with things like, I watch Stormy Owl, and why not? She's a great member of the community. Oops. But it's funny because when DadCaff comes on, because he's, like she is, smart about being a little bit early. I'm not, but smart about being a little early, then I'll sometimes turn his on. I just mute everything for a few minutes or whatever, and then Stormy will raid into DadCaff. And that works out well, but of course I end up with a double channel, It's sometimes it's funny to me, though. Every once in a while you catch one where the streamer comments that, oh, hey, I'm double parked in my own stream. And that always makes me smile. I still watch only, well, let me correct that. I still watch only family-friendly and family-friendly adjacent streams. What I mean by that is I will never raid knowingly into a non-family friendly stream. However, when I say family friendly adjacent, what I mean by that is there's some I don't have problems watching, and very rarely will actually raid into, who are mostly family friendly. Once in a while there'll be a language slip, or somebody in their stream will decide they've seen something accidentally inappropriate and think it's funny to comment on it. But most of the time that doesn't happen. So those are the ones where I don't worry too much about it. But if I can get a fully family-friendly person who's doing interesting content that's somewhat similar to what I was working on that day, then that's where I'll usually go. Yesterday morning morning for me at least, when I finished streaming, it was like just after noon-ish, and I had a horrible time selecting because there were about 3 or 4 safe Minecrafters I was watching, but some were doing modded and some were just a small crew, and some they're a little more likely to slip on the family-friendly front than others. So it was just one of those ones where I was a little indecisive about what I wanted to support that day. So I like to support small streamers when I can. The problem with that is there's some small streamers that very much deserve support, but it's the type of support I'd be comfortable watching, not necessarily comfortable sending my community to, because sometimes they slip a little more frequently than some of the people I'm like, or than the type of content I'd like to raid, I guess. That sounds hypocritical, and it sort of is. But for example, I have. How did I end up with that many? So somehow I have a golem out there. Not quite sure how that worked out. He can stay, I guess. Got one hanging out around the buildings over there, and then one that ended up in the moat over here. So I have to figure out how this moat guy showed up, because he shouldn't have been able to spawn over there. What happened to you? How'd you get in here? Did I forget to spawn-proof something? Oh, did you come off those... Oh, boy. I was gonna say, did you come off those buildings up top? But possibly not. You may have actually come off this spot up here. Is one little square. I doubt it, but you never know. Yeah, I totally get that, B. He wants to go up, but he can't. Haha, you're stuck. So where else could you have come from? Oh, okay. So I forgot to spawn-proof these walls with buttons or anything. Yeah, okay, so they probably came from there and then just fell in. And it's possible the same thing happened with the dude who's wandering around outside. The outside one, though, this guy might have actually just spawned in the trench or any of these green walls there, because we've got people being social close enough, it'll happen. And then this one is most likely a similar result from one of these side walls, or he may have spawned when I was building the frame and then got out. Shouldn't have? I'm not quite sure where he came from. We'll find out when we end up spawn-proofing thing, or not spawn-proofing, sorry, getting rid of him and then finding out. But all these top ones from the buildings should be non-spawnable because they're the lower half slab. And then that's the reason we got the buttons down here, is because they're not the lower half slab. They're the upper. It's bird-proofing. Why not? I mean, I guess. I don't think you can spawn on much of this other stuff. Puzzling. The issue with this dude is that he may be affecting the farm inside. I'm probably going to have to get rid of him soon, but I want to make sure I'm not standing there, because that would be problematic. I just really wonder where they came from. That doesn't make any sense. Steve. It's hard to balance that piece of me. Super cool that you mod for them and help them out. No. Well, exactly. Like, the other thing I found too is there are some people, they mod for one person, and then they spend they spend time like having a different channel open because they weren't busy modding, that's who they'd rather be watching, kind of thing. It's not they don't want to be there for the person they're modding for, but they just find both people interesting. Well, if you can get out, I don't think I want to be hitting you. Not a smart plan. I sort of intentionally wanted them to be able to get out, so that suggests that somewhere down here things are not should be spawn proofed. I have no idea where you came from, sir. I know where you're going. Like Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go? And where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Okay, well. Got these two buildings done. Let's not get too distracted. I got that set done. Of the doors, did I get these ones done? Oh, okay, I'm farther ahead than I thought. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the castle. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's a few I've got different people who will come in and they'll sit permanently marked as I have no audio. There's times I think Fantastic Sherlock Fox would benefit from that. So let's just switch over then and do some spawn proofing. Oak trap doors. Oak row. There's spruce. Oak. 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 Wrong box. Okay. Why not? This one's not a busy box. Put that in there for now. Leaves. Truthfully, I would compost that. Let's just throw it here for now. Okay, and then food box over here. The everybody drops box. One over there. Alright, I think I'm about as disorganized, aka cleaned up, as I can. So what did I do with all the buttons? Two buttons. Sure, that'll work. Need some slabs. Some more slabs. That's not gonna work. I need more slabs. Some people had suggested I make the whole outer moat, the bottom of it, be magma block, and I may at some point switch it over to something like that, as unrealistic as it would be. However, the reason I haven't done so is partly that I just don't have it yet. I don't think I need that much. Oh, maybe I do. Go with that and see if we've got enough. Something says I should just do the whole thing. Stop being a baby about it. Okay, and I've got dirt to climb with, so let's go get these things done. Hello, sir. I need to make your possible spawn point go away. Let's do it. Yeah. I think that's enough to stop columns. I'm hoping that's enough to stop columns. We'll find out. Alright, so if that's enough to stop golems, I can't spawn here because of the whatever we call it, the fences. Can't spawn there because of the fences. Let me take these fences out actually. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Still works. And then it's the other wall. This whole bottom section is half slabbed. That's pathed all the way up, so we shouldn't. In a magic world, we shouldn't be having all these spawns that we were seeing. At least not that many. Because you still have to have somewhere to spawn, even if it's the social mechanic that's making it happen. That's a mistake. Okay. This one in. That one in. If I get rid of these. Did anybody in chat see any reason you can think of why I should have had golem spawns? I'm really quite puzzled. We need to give him some spicy orange juice instead. I can see the guy that's outside. That makes sense. Because the guy that's outside, the bottom of the moat isn't spawn proof. That's what the slabs are going to be for. But why we have multiples inside, I don't understand. You need some more. Path wasn't hot enough, apparently. I am so glad we don't have fire spread on here. I would have some very, very dead villagers. You're still burning? Oh, there we go. Come on. Like aerobics. Feel the burn! Let it burn out. Exercise is exercise. We need to burn off those calories, don't we? That's why the villagers don't particularly seem to care. One of my favorites. So I've got every workstation that will take a button has been blocked. This one won't take a button, right? And then these won't take buttons. And these won't take buttons. Do that, baby. Try that. Yeah, so I can't really do much about that. Put buttons up here, baby. Well, they could endless cycle spawn, but don't they need something actually spawnable to spawn on? Or am I just completely deluding myself here? Where'd you go? That's what I'm hoping for, is I'm trying to, as much as I can, unspawnable so that they don't. I mean, I have no problem if they spawn in farm, right? That's classic. In the pardon me, in the top of the tower, we've got buttons all over the place. I haven't bothered doing the windows because they're only 1 square high. So I mean, technically, when it gets dark, I could get baby zombies or something like that. But that's pretty much the only thing I can think of. Yeah, well, that's the other thing about Bedrock. It's the village mechanics part that really gets me. Oh, nothing. Oh, fun. Problem with doing it with lava. Did they both disappear? There's some. Iron. So my theory was if everything is successfully non-spawnable, then I shouldn't be seeing any golems. So that should be okay. That with buttons. Yeah, I mean, I'm just leaving it open. Like, if people know, if people are smarter than me, please do tell me, because I'm puzzled by that one. In the meantime, though, I'm just going to put slabs on the ground outside. And in this one, they could also probably spawn on the bridges, I suspect. And even if they can't spawn on trapdoors, it's probably going to be an issue anyway. But they're... Ha 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 ha! Chicken Tendy's been here! Well, that's interesting. I didn't realize they were directional where you eat them from. Oops. Come here. Put the flower up to the camera. And that lets her know they've been seen. Aside from that, I ate them. That kind of makes sense too. Yeah. Oh, sir. I've had golems spawn on roofs too. I still don't know why that is. I don't have a preference of Java over Bedrock. Literally, it was the whole village mechanics and large area required for an iron farm that turned me off of it this season. Now, I mean, hindsight 2020 and all that, I guess I could have done a very large keep with the villagers and stuff, but then I couldn't populate the rest of the the rest of the castle with villagers because that would mess up the farm instantly. So there's ways to do it, but it would make things so much larger based on my personal skills. I mean, there are plenty in the know that can make things stack beautifully, and it looks like it's no larger than it is on Java, so on. Like, there are, if you get a solid enough piece of land during or in the entire spawn sphere of, like, for golems, then you can actually make it work so that they're only able to spawn within the farm, and you can have a tiny farm. But the key is making it tiny by having it only spawnable in the correct areas. And particularly since 118 generation, I mean, it happened before that as well, but particularly since 118 generation, I have not found it easy to locate places like that. Like, we looked at it just yesterday, that below my base, annoyingly close, is a very large cave system. Cave, I guess? And it goes down to the point where we end up with Skulk at the bottom. So, building a farm like that would not have worked too well on this server, because I would have golems all over the stinking place. I think I only get away with where I have it right now because of Java being a little bit different. But I mean, the socialization part of the mechanic means that, yeah, I have, whether you like it or not, you've got a bit of an iron farm. That's actually part of why I haven't bothered this time around putting the lava away. Normally I put it back in its box, I guess, for the smelting purposes and just fill up the chest and so on. But I actually haven't bothered putting it away because until we figure out where these boys are coming from, and yes, if they'll spawn and end up down in the moat, that's fine. But until we find where these boys are coming from, I was not keen on putting away my dispatch method. Though we clearly saw that if I don't pick it up fast enough, I lose out on some of the drops. But, it's one of those necessary evils, I guess. And I'm going to need to come through and path all this. Challenge with that is just that my shovel's a little bit in poor repair at the moment, so I need to deal with that. Which is going to involve some villager trading to get the points and such. I mean, I could make a trip to the Ender, I suppose. That would be sensible. I already do have the Endermen muted. Sometimes it's the self-sufficient principle of the thing. But that only goes so far. I mean, last time I tried the self-sufficient principle of the thing, I mysteriously ended up with, not mysteriously, sorry. I, in short order, ended up with a donation of a beacon. Because what I was doing was slow. So, yeah. There's pros and cons to everything. Okay. Jeep, can you please move? Go backwards? Thank you. A little more? Thank you. You can be here, I just don't need you filling up the space. You're gonna go be a castle somewhere else then? Oops. There we go. I mean, there's also a possibility that I may have miscalculated with these ones, just how much I needed flattened out to ensure spawning in the iron farm. And it's possible that the external golem could have come from that as well. Gee, do you need a buddy? A friend? Is that why you're hanging around? You can come join the other ones inside. I don't think you'd like it, though. Can you please go anywhere? Thank you. Yep, we're gonna need to go back inside. Oops. I guess I could use buttons, but that's Cheaty McCheaterson and doesn't really get me the effect I want. They shouldn't come off the top of there anymore. We'll hope that's good. I suppose while I'm inside, I should probably just... I know I haven't got this part spawn-proof, but I should probably deal with the price of filling up... Not filling up, sorry, repairing my tools. Well, I mean, but that's a very nice trade, right? The trade works well. Mine showed up after... Mine showed up after I decided to do some mining and scooping of sand and stuff. And the principle of the thing element was that I decided I was going to use up the excess tools I had picked up on camera, pardon me, from trading with the villagers. And as anybody who's done the whole villager trade business knows, you end up with a lot of rather useless tools. Okay, I need a bunch more iron and stuff. Yeah, I was just being stubborn. And that's fine, but when I was doing big projects, like the CAD file carpet art, that's, you know, one of those, it only goes so far. That's okay. I'm not asking for beacons or anything like that. We can make it work without. If we make life work without, then I'm going to go with that. This one. 2, 3. Well, it's funny. I had a plan this season where I was going to do more art like that, but do it as banners instead of carpets, vertically. The problem was I have not given myself a large enough canvas. However, one of the things that came out of last season's carpet art, weirdly, it's not the first time I've done that. The season before I did a Ghostbusters logo on the Bedrock server. I just went and... yeah. That was dumb. Anyway, the season before I'd done that. So, Katie Zert contacted me and said, what are some of your tips? What are some of your secrets? I'd like to do some map art. And for those of you that got the chance to see it, they are amazing. I have not actually gone to get myself a copy, so sorry it didn't show up in this museum. I haven't got a museum yet. But her carpet art of the DadCaff server logo, I guess, it just knocks my socks off. Let's put this in one hand, because that's the one I really need to fix. No, you're not helpful, buddy. Go away. This one? Well, that went really far. But the reason I needed to put in the other is because the ones that are unavailable won't show me emeralds. See, he goes away, and if I was to follow him, he doesn't actually turn around to show me emeralds. Whereas the ones that are available to trade with, when I get close, they'll show me emeralds. So that's why I wanted to make it empty. That's how I can, for myself at least, that's how I can manage having free range villagers, is that I can figure out which ones are available. But I will eventually have them locked in, I suspect, at least within their houses. What else? You two are done? You're just interested. You two are both done? Okay, over here. Are you done? Nope, you're not. Alright. Oh, you think it's nighttime. Aha. That explains a lot. Okay. Where are you going? There's no bed up there. I want out. Push you. Push. Push, push. There. Do, do, do. Sure. Why not? Sweet dreams. Thank you. Yeah. Today, much better mood than yesterday. And I don't just mean in-game. Yesterday had a really awful dream I woke up to. Like, I don't even know where it came from, grade of awful. Everybody's like, I'm not interested. Sorry. No can shop yet. 20 for 6 in the morning. I don't start work till 8. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we talked about how I don't do non-family friendly stuff. I'm not into violent TV shows. I'm not into violent movies or anything like that. But for some reason, I had a weirdly, like, zombie-esque violent related dream. And it really unsettled me. And so when I was streaming yesterday, I definitely said, help! Guys, I need to stream because I need to cheer up. What on earth can you guys do to help me? And, yeah. It worked for a while. Actually, worked almost all day, and then because I got tired later in the evening, I had a bit of a blue patch, and so that was part of my signal to go to bed. Didn't stay up too late. Yeah, like, I don't even know where it came from. Like, that's the weird part, because it was something about like deadly bees or some such that these stupid bees. Okay. These stupid bees affect people with something, which would then make them basically zombie-esque to go after others. But it wasn't necessarily like they could pass the contagion, they just were going after people. So, of course, then you had the other character, either the one I was being in the dream, or or else it was somebody else. So I was sort of watching, like, that whole third-party fly on the wall biz. But I don't even know where that would have come from. Like, I don't know. Because it's sometimes it's not uncommon to dream about things that you have to deal with, right? So if you've got a stressful day coming up or something, to dream about that. So for me to dream about camp, for example, would not have surprised me. I mean, it's unsettling, but it would not have surprised me. But this was just something else, and I wish I knew where it came from. On the other hand, I mean, maybe I don't want to know. Because if I find out, then I might actually have to do something about it. Oh, dirt, go away. Sure. No, not the egg. There. Oh, it's just the egg. It's funny you should say that, actually, B, because in all honesty, that used to be my problem when I was a kid. So, you know, before you wet the bed, like, I never wet the bed because I needed to, kind of thing, when I was really little. Actually, I did, you know, kids do. But what I meant by that is, like, I never did in that respect, but I remember plenty of different dreams where, as I got older and was sort of grown out of that whole wetting the bed thing, in my dream, I'd be really, really needing the washroom for some reason or other, and then in my dream, I'd find one. You know, and, oh, this is great. I found one, I can go, yay, all happy about that. So just, you know, chill out, and then dream, good, I can just move on and get back to whatever I was doing in that dream. And then you wake up as a kid having soiled everything, and it was really frustrating and unpleasant. So I've had different situations where sometimes I've had to pinch myself when actually using real facilities because I'd be tired or whatever. I'm like, did I just, like, doze off on the couch and not wake up? So every time now that I've, not every time, but a lot of times now, when it's late and I vaguely, for whatever level, remember going to bed, then that part is a signal going, oh, hang on a second. You may be asleep, wake yourself up. And I've never as an adult had any problems with that, nor as a teenager or anything remotely related, but just for some reason, as a kid, I would have dreams about, like, the hunt for the washroom because you really needed it. And, so it took a while for me to learn to wake myself up from a conscious dream of that sort to realize I need to go find the washroom for real. Well, the flip side of that, though, that we're starting to experience as parents is, unfortunately, and I discovered this a while back, actually, that one, possibly both of my kids sleepwalk, but only for that purpose. So in other words, they don't quite wake up, but they wake up enough that they go and do the thing. The whole facility's run, hand wash and everything, and go back to bed, close the door and whatever, and don't remember in the morning getting up for anything. So that's fine at home, not so fine at camp, because sometimes when they wake up at camp, for that purpose, they have to sort of wake up more because they didn't remember that they were at camp when they went to bed in their head. So they still wake up to do the thing, and then part of their brain goes, okay, I'm at camp, so I need to fiddle with tent zippers or something. And if that doesn't go perfectly smoothly, my son, at least, he'll wake up and be somewhat incoherent in terms of not being able to explain what he was up to. Yeah, we've never had any... Well, Fantastic Sherlock Fox, depends a lot on your schedule. If it's problematic for me to go long, then I won't. But if it's not problematic, then I will, but only for another hour. Not all day, all day. So, we'll have to see. Not a problem? Okay. So yeah, then I will just go with it. There may be some other good folks on, so I'm okay for the... Yeah, if you're in a meeting, that's fine. I understand that as well. Probably don't need to be cutting this one back. But hey, if dude wants to go walk himself right over the edge, he can do that. I'm happy with it. Because I realized what I wanted to do with this side was make it 1 block high, not 2. And my logic on that one is that I can get in and out of things, whereas you just don't want people into the castle. Yeah, sorry. Apologies, B. But it's possible that both my kids are doing that now. But, I mean, they're both well beyond the whole wetting their bed thing, so I don't know. Never know what causes these things. Ooh. That up there. I have more dirt than I started with, so it's confusing me for a second. So I don't care if the golem wants to walk his way out. I'm okay with that. This corner just gives me the willies in general, because I know behind this wall there's more cave. I keep thinking when I dig down sometimes that I'm going to actually get into the caves and just fall. As you can imagine, is not high on anybody's list. Oh, is that the ladder? Whoops. Let's just count this. Ladder up here, and I can probably fill in this one. Oh, I'm gonna chop it out. So I was trying to get sheep or donkeys to follow me. I can't remember which one it was. I need to cut it out so they can actually follow me. I don't know why it was 2 blocks high outside. I had it that way for a reason at some point, but think it's just I got myself turned around on the project, because the inside one is meant to be 2 blocks high all the way up, but or 1.5 down here, but the outside part was meant to be shorter because I have no problem if mobs leave away from the castle, as most people wouldn't in a real castle. I have no problem with everything leaving, but it's that you don't want to be attacked. Sheep. Once I've cut this all out, sheep may not need to be here. I'm leaving quite the trail behind. You can start to see my mini-map on the top right screen. I'm like outlining the castle in pink. Okay, that's fine. Let's combine some of these for now. There, that'll give me some space. Aha! Why I didn't think of that before, I'm not sure. My Wolfen impression? Cannot be allowed to despawn. Definitely not. No, never. I wondered if you were still lurking around. Yep, it's definitely... It's one of those things where, even for dirt, it's not renewable, but on the other hand, it is highly annoying because it's everywhere. People say, what do you need it for? Because I don't like, grand holes like that in the ground to fall into, then I find I spend an awful lot of time just simply cutting things down. So a bit more terraforming than your average Jill. And I also use it a lot to fill things up. So for example, if I cut this back, I like the dirt look on the outside, so this will probably happen, and I'll probably end up digging, I am digging currently, the remainder of these things out of the way and replacing them with dirt. That over there. This whole disorganization is going to drive me crazy. I say that I need Wolfen at some point to come and reorganize my stuff for me. It's more because otherwise I'll just be doing it myself on camera and bore the snot out of everybody, including me. There we go. One for now. There, that'll do. Alright, so we take off this layer. And really it's only this corner that's the worst. Oh yeah, no, it's not a rush. I mean, I'm more teasing than anything else because I said I was going to have a different building as my main storage building. I thought about it being the Abbey, like I did, or like the church, like I did last season, and that was my earlier plan. And the reason it's shifting is simply because it makes no sense if the majority of my city, or sorry, town, or whatever you want to call this build, is on this side of the water, where we are currently, then having my storage building across on the other side is just illogical. Star Trek and all, it's just nonsensical. So I need to figure out how I want to make that all work. Oh, I guess that's the path part I just didn't bother depathing. To do that at some point. Okay, so that's one cut back, and then this will be a second. Yeah, I'm not one who's either good at or likes terraforming. My terraforming is incredibly predictably vanilla at the time. This one and that one, and then all this is going to get peeled off. So I can just dig it all out. I don't know why I wanted the hill. Oh, pardon me. smoothed out that dramatically, but it just worked in my head, so it's gonna happen. Okay, this one. It's odd because I thought, oh, I'm done all the terraforming, yay! And no, I wasn't. Come on, you. That one. Yeah, well, I definitely think if you do at some point prefer to go with quality of life mods, it's not essential, nobody needs them. But if you do prefer to go with quality of life mods and want a mapping system, I think for the fact that you like things to be picked up, Zeros is a great way to go because they have the option of showing you markers on the ground for the things you've dropped. Whereas the journey map system does not. So you don't see little entity markers all over the place. On the other hand, it does sometimes drive me batty. Hello, how are you? It sometimes does drive me batty that things like the knot on the fence post for a lead shows up as pick dot entity. Oh no, I can't pick up. Okay, there we go. Renewable resources, I can drop. Seeds will come back. Welcome in, Benson. I'm still alive. Yes. Yeah, Fantastic Chocolate Fox says, are you planning on going long today? And I said, do you have a problem with that? He goes, nope. So I am. I know Flaming Fox talked about potentially doing the 3 to 5 Eastern window. I know that was really up in the air and it initially sounded unlikely to happen. But there's nobody else I really am familiar with on Thursdays to raid into. Now, I mean, I'm always all ears, but I think I'll probably go just 1 more hour here and then call it. Because that will get me till 1 o'clock my time, which is fantastic time to break for lunch. I think there's method to this madness, or is it madness to the method? You decide. And by the way, Benson, I didn't get to thank you properly for the subs last stream. That was neither expected nor required, but it was totally amazing and really helped my mood a lot. So thank you once again for that one. It was, what do they say in The Mask? But in any case, it was one of those Oscar mask moments. Yeah. I appreciate it. But, how have everybody in my stream been keeping lately? Sometimes I say hello and then I go right back into whatever thread I was on and don't necessarily properly address the human element of having great friends like you guys. So I would really like to find out how people have been doing lately. Because it's an awful lot of direct DMs to be checking in with everybody manually, so it's nice to just see, you know, who needs a little bit more of a pick-me-up and who it is trucking along just fine. Yeah, it does drive me crazy sometimes. You've seen me do it. That's how I discovered the caves beneath my base, is that the entity thing was driving me batty. Because I kept getting random string in weird places. And it would show up on the screen and start wiggling around because it was trapped in the dirt below. And like right under my feet. And it was definitely driving me crazy. So I took a look underneath and that's how I discovered just the massive caves we've got. I didn't fall in, so that's a start. Sorry. We've talked about things remind me of other things, and the I didn't fall in comment. I've jokingly said that to my kids about washrooms and stuff, and they don't think it's very funny. But that's something that my mom used to think was really, really funny. Not the actual act of falling in, but she used to think it was funny to ask. If you spend too long, she goes, I hope you didn't fall in. Like, well, not sure if I really want to answer that question if it had happened. That'd be, you know, one of those very, very embarrassing things for a kid. Hey, Mom, I'm stuck. Or as a scout leader, we talked about it actually just the other day, about the too deep rule when you deal with younger sections, and some camp situations are not like the facilities aren't built for little people, 5 to 7-year-olds, and some of them are quite small. And so, like, okay, when we had this situation during COVID, you couldn't help kids with their zipper or whatever. Okay, fine, but we all agreed as scout leaders that seriously, we're not going to be doing the whole thing where it's like, yeah, Billy fell in and got kind of stuck, and we're not going to do anything about it because the rules say that you can't like get into physical contact with a kid. It's like, well, if something happens and they get stuck or whatever, to hell with the rules. We're going to help them get unstuck. It's not we're going to wait 45 minutes for their parent to show up to help them get unstuck. It's not one of those things we're going to do. So it just reminded me of that don't fall in thing. It's a good day. I'm so glad to hear it. Because I know that sometimes people have days that aren't so good. And I'm really glad that today seems to be a good day. One of the things that always surprises me is just how well some of my friends have, like on here, have also blended in well to other communities when I'm not streaming. And it's funny because there's some communities that I'm still heavily a part of, and there's some that I'm a little quiet on right now, partly because it's just a challenge keeping up, and partly just because it might not long term be as good a personality fit as I originally thought it was. But it's neat because some of my other friends are really hitting it off in these other communities. A good example of that is the very open-mindedness of, say, Lammy Pie or whatever. There's days that I have a reaction that's nonsensical, but it's just not Lammy Pie fitting. And not like I ever think anything negative or whatever, but the point where I'm going with this one, and this is going to drive me crazy because I can't pick it up. But anyway, so I'm taking a little bit of a quiet break from some of her stream and Discord and whatever, and I have trouble keeping up with it anyways because she's got a good sized community. But it's nice to see that people, Benson and a few others, have found a spot in some of the other communities, and I think that's really cool because it makes the world feel more positively small. I guess that's a weird way of putting it. But it feels like a smaller world, and in this case that's a good thing. I guess is where I'm trying to go with that. Because you look at the sheer numbers when people say, "Oh, are we streaming Minecraft?" Yep, that's a very busy category. How do you manage to build a community? And part of it is because it is so community focused in that sense. For a lot of Minecraft streamers. For a lot of Minecraft streamers that we share back and forth when we're not streaming. Either that or we evilly steal from one another, but, same and all that, right? Just kidding. Okay, I've got this part one block cut back. This bit up the top, and then we're done there. Okay. Ouch. You're rubber banding. That's not great. This one, that one. The other thing about my predictable terraforming is that something like a single block on a corner, so if I was to cut this back and then cut this back, that wouldn't be enough for me. I actually would like to have a full wraparound, so I'd have to take these two as well. Which ends up with a break, and then I go, no, that doesn't make any sense, let's just pull these two out all together. It's a very predictable style. I can always run another one. I can always run more. Okay, instead, I can always give you an exclamation point joke. if it actually wants to run. There we go. So Osmond says, this furniture store keeps emailing me, and all I wanted was one night stand. Ooh, okay, that one may disappear at some point, because, yeah, that's a little more than... I would not qualify that one as family friendly as I'm comfortable with. So, yeah, that particular one may disappear. There are, some of these have easily accessible databases. Some of them just pull from a text file. This is more of the database variety, so I have to look into it and how to get rid of certain ones. But mostly the jokes are there. Let's try different ones, see if that's any better. There we go. So what did the shy pebble wish for? That she was a little bolder. But I wish that a lot. You know, but when all else fails, you can always just drop from the sky, right? That's something that's definitely safe, definitely silly, and is not going to disappear. I just find it fun. No, I like just dropping from the sky. That's gone. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, certainly not that one. No. Thank you. Hello. Wow. Okay, for a second I thought that was me. That's really delayed. The Fantastic Sherlock Fox probably isn't showing it, but if oh, that's where the okay, where the double high came from. He's not showing it, but if you actually land in the pool, as Olivia Benson just did, then in addition to whatever your other roles, then I do try and switch, give you VIP. Oops, group mods. Yeah, okay. So there should be both. However, it can be problematic because if your mods are also VIP, then they show differently on the screen, and sometimes the VIP logo can cause problems with the mod stuff, and yeah. At the moment, there are no extra perks other than the fact that you're VIP for the day. Like, VIPs don't even get any extra perks yet, because I haven't figured out what extra perks to give them. Oh, chicken? I didn't realize you were going to be in there. Okay. I can't pick that up. Ow! Sure. Whatever. Okay. This one. Wow, this is going to be a terraforming project. I think I've bitten off more than I should have chosen to chew. Oops. Yeah. Mistakes. But yeah, so next week we would definitely, I'll guarantee, next week we will definitely be working on part of the prep for the monastery area, or the abbey thing. I need to figure out where I want to put it to be able to get it across the water, and then we'll go, and yes, we'll be chopping wood, but it'll be out in the wild intentionally to try and prep that area to be able to put up the monastery building. And I have to check and see what materials it's using, because of course it's got things like warp wood in it. That's not really, color-wise, it's not really realistic, so I have to muck around a little bit with the pattern. And a lot of this to be finished up. So I'm just going to keep on keeping on. But with the knowledge, of course, that next week it won't all be this sort of chaotic mess. And now I need to get up. Oh, I didn't think about that one. Oops. Yeah, I need to think about this next time. 1, 2. There we go. I take one more stack, right? dust these ones. Full. Is the dirt one? Yes. That. And I don't need stone because I will be picking up more. Slabs. More slabs. Gravel. I think gravel's over here. Gravel. Andesite. Iron. Okay. No. This one. Dump those. Only sort of organized. Ooh. But for the purposes of not being nauseous when I'm moving around doing things, it's certainly not doing all that well with things clipping and being laggy and so forth. The thing to do is just quickly rid of bone meal. Myself one extra slot, and I'll probably get rid of that button on the way back. Then we're back out for another load. The original idea had been to run around path blocking things so that we don't get golems, but at the moment, not quite how things are working out, is it? It's also one of those little picky OCD things of mine to not have weird little one block overhangs. Unless it's part of the design sort of thing, but letting it go. Wow. Okay, come on. Back this way. Oh, I must have picked up the chicken. Okay. And this one. Alright. That's one block peeled back. Come back one more. And then this one will be peeled back one more. See, she's picky. And we don't have phantoms tonight, so I'm hoping I won't have too many troubles with these other things. So if I have an edge like that, gotta go. That can be there, this can be there. That can be there. I really dislike how I'm picky about this, just because it looks okay in the end, but it's just so hard. There's nobody to fault but myself. Those three have to be dirt. That's okay. That's two. Nope, that's not. These have to be gone, which means that one's dirt. As part of it is I can't come through with path blocking if I don't have it be all dirt. That's part of the problem here. The other bit of it is just anal. That's really all there is to it. Does it make a difference in the end? Probably not. Okay, can we get all the way down this strip? Oops. I'm going to pretend that a bunch of that didn't despawn. I just realized that the big pink stripe that was down the side of my base is now gone. Not in the mini-map anymore, so that means that the 5 minutes has expired. Sorry, Wolfen. I was trying not to. But I wasn't trying hard enough. Hey, you know, everybody's got their own thing, right? I'm finding it hard enough to keep up with the anti-carnivore. Finding it hard enough to keep up with the anti-sheep death thing that my daughter asked for, so I just have to go with it. Okay, it's this spot. If I just get around the corner, then I will lap back. Figured out. That one. Let's go. There. In theory, I can walk that whole edge. Yes. Okay. Close enough. Go to the next row. Rinse and repeat. Why do I have blocks up there? I can't recall why I had ladders up there. That'll be fine. It'll be useful later. So I'm on this level now. One more thing, she says, knowing that she's wrong. But part of it is, I mean, I needed a bit of a refresh to figure out what I wanted to do next with regards to the major build, because there's so much to be able to do. Like, one of the other things that I was thinking of is we've got a bunch of space taken care of in the farm. Okay, a lot of it's open space, but crossing my fingers, this will work. There we go. So having the open space is not a problem. I can decorate in paths and stuff somewhat similar to the reference. But the kicker, and I know that it's a different picture, kicker is that, of course, in order to keep it spawn-proofed, I have to figure out how to make it not have, well, not have just pathing. To be able to show the routes inside, which means I need to actually find myself some moss, and that'll be an interesting one to try and locate. Certainly is not underneath my base, so I'll find someone who has it. Ooh. That axe is not doing well. I don't know which mod it is I've got that's telling me about the durability, but I'm not going to argue. Something I didn't have till recently, so I suspect it was something that I copied from Dub Dynamite. He's got a different set of quality of life mods than I do, and I went through the list he'd given in Discord and went, oh yeah, that one's cool, I like that one. Oh yeah, that one's good, I like that one. So I just added a bunch, deleted a bunch of I included a few of my own that I wasn't really using and so on. So my pack, I guess, for playing vanilla, which doesn't sound very vanilla when I'm doing it this way. The pack combination has grown, so I sometimes forget what does what. Just all dirt. This is why I don't use high efficiency tools. Okay, 1, 2, 4. There. Now I'm watching the lip on the bottom. Make sure that I still have an outline. Here. That's it. Yay. Not quite watching paint dry, but sometimes that's how it feels to me. Although I will say I probably would watch paint dry. I just have my mouse held down. If I've been chunky like that, I'm not particularly sure. What did I drop? There we go. Yay! Okay. Far so good. Ladder. Come on. Me up here. Sometimes I wonder if I should start with a flat world. Uh-oh. Didn't bring any slabs. That's problematic. Go back in there. So thinking about tools and stuff, I guess one of these days I should probably go do some netherite mining. I hate it, but the classic format of netherite mining is not going to last. It sounds like when one of the more recent, or not recent, sorry, one of the fairly soon updates will take that away. You'll only really be able to upgrade things by, to get armor, for example, by having access to patterns and such. It's a whole rigmarole, I guess. And so I'm thinking I should probably go and do it the classic way before the classic opportunity disappears. And what made me think about it just now is that the durability, of course, goes up to your tools and whatnot if you've got netherite. Also, it's faster, so without a beacon, it's a little quicker to get rolling. Great. Okay. Right. That's that part. There's a lot more stone here than I had originally thought, but that's okay. Send this one back. You think we're almost done. We're almost done. Illusions of grandeur. This way. We've got weather shifts this week in our neighborhood, or in our part of the world, and so we're getting Chinooks and stuff. And once again, I've just got a smasher of a Chinook headache. So I'm just thinking to myself, after stream, I will go and take some headache meds for it. That's probably why some of the behavior going on in game is bothering me more than usual. So that's just me. Four. There we go. Two. That. Stay. Terraforming. Okay, we had wood houses, we had tree chopping, and we had terraforming. I mean, it could be false hunters. It's not, but it could be. Back. This one. One comes out there, there, there. Oops. Here's I'm working on 2 different levels at the same time, and I didn't think about that. Okay. Hello. Considering I wasn't going to stream today, I'm actually going up, one could say, 3 hours longer than originally anticipated. It feels long, actually, when I say it that way. You got in the pool, not a great score. The reset drop makes the pool go away. That's what we got. No, actually, I think that's about it. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that one, and we can reset that after as well. Okay, well, I just skipped that one altogether. Didn't even bounce off anything. That's sort of disappointing, Plinko, when you have that happen, where you bounce right off first pin and slide right down the side. You're never going to get the star in the center, but this one can go all the way over here. Oops. That one. Okay. Now we're back into weird shapes. One around the corner. Okay, we got all the way down to the long side. Next. Which is where I thought I was earlier. Let's see if I can do this a little quicker. The answer is negatory, but we'll see. Jump. I don't mind flint sometimes, but honestly, we can't do a whole ton with it. It's a little disappointing. So one of the things I like about some of the modded styles, when it comes to something like flint, so really it's what they've done with the extra blocks. So for example, I think it was Sevtech that had flint that you could turn into modded 9x9, not 9x9, 9 pieces to a grid, and then you could still go ahead and put your blocks to use, right? And so you'd end up with a very, very dark, basically a black block. I quite like the look of that. That was final down there. So now, how do I take out this part? We're back. Am I getting so lost here? Those one block overhangs. Gets me every time. I'd be curious to see what the numbers are in sheer quantities of things like grass versus, say, plain stone. Naturally in the world. Love to see the values of that. Because sometimes it seems like there's an awful lot of stone. Dirt. Oh, that's right. That one. Start here. Go. Oops. I suddenly got quiet. My apologies to everybody. 10 minutes in, or 10 minutes left, but I want to know. Oh, good grief. Bad choice. Sorry. We've been talking about that all day. That's why. Okay, so if you were invisible for a day, what would you do? And I think we've been through this one, but I don't know if we've been through it with everybody here. If you could be invisible for one day and one day only, what would you do? And actually my answer changes because somewhat related to current events, I suppose. If anything interesting is happening in the news, then I would probably change where I'd want to go. And if it's the only chance I'd ever have, maybe I'd have a more permanent answer. But because the question comes up more than once, I'm gonna do that. Ha! Fantastic Show Fox would binge a good show or read a good book, knowing that nobody could find him. Somehow I could see that happening. I could totally see Fantastic Show Fox doing that. That makes far too much sense. If I could go anywhere invisibly, probably places, I probably would go places I'm not supposed to be. So for example, you know, walking into courtrooms, or potentially go, well actually, I mean, if you, these days, you know, go on a plane and go straight into the pilot's cabin. Because you can't do that anymore. That's assuming, of course, that I was invisible and could walk through walls. Or you'd have to shadow the person you did her out. What else would I do? If I could do anything like that and go anywhere for a day, then I would probably... Yeah, I mean, that's probably the big one. I'd do stuff like that. Or actually, I'd go shadow famous people. I've talked about this before, but sometimes I'd like to just see famous people being people. They don't have to be what the media says they are. They don't have to put on a show for everybody. Sometimes you do get personalities that really are as arrogant as they appear in the media, but other times you get people that are just annoying, and it's kind of like their shtick. Kind of a Gilbert Gottfried concept, that it's part of the shtick, and that's part of the persona they put on, but behind the scenes they're not always like that. It'd be kind of fun. Yeah, so you could watch your family do things where you're not normally available, but then you're like, knowing that you're there could disrupt them. But yeah, I mean, same sort of vein. I would love to, even for my kids, because they're still in school, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their classroom a little bit. Just see how things really go. I mean, based on this funky teacher we were talking about earlier, who may or may not be a little off her gourd, it'd be kind of interesting to sit in on one of the classes without anybody's knowledge of it and just see what it really is like in there. Are the kids making up tales, or is this really as weird as it sounds? I mean, that sort of thing could also work for politicians. You know, if you ever wanted to be in on closed-door meetings to see if it really is as strange as it seems, which I would say most likely it probably is. But there's certain politicians I wouldn't want to be in on their meetings. I don't want to be inside their head. They're just too weird. I mean, we all hear, as parents, we all hear the stories from our kids about, like, hey, we had a sub today. Oh, cool. What happened? Like, what'd you do in class? And it's like, not much, because kids all decided to start acting up. And we've all heard those sorts of stories, so it'd be kind of interesting to see what it's like for the teachers' classes when they're not around. I could be there to see it. Lose my focus again? I did. I lost my focus again. The reason I'm focusing on this wall right now is because I'm guessing, based on what I'm seeing around here, it looks like the tallest that I haven't dealt with. There's probably still some at the far end that I haven't dealt with, but this looks like the tallest chunk right now. So I figured it's a good place to get it sorted and work my way all the way up and then backtrack for some of these other spots. And truthfully, another option is I could have torn down from above. Probably would have been smart. Oh, for sure. I totally agree. I was part of a class who, we had a few class clowns, but generally we were pretty good, but there was one particular science teacher that some of us liked and some didn't, and the ones that didn't all ganged up together to give her a nervous breakdown, so that one day she just literally walked out of class and never came back. Apparently she went straight to the principal's office and said I quit, and said that she would be back sometime during the week to get, weirdly enough, to get her purse and her lunch kit, but she left the building. Like, she didn't even take, I think she took her car keys, but that sort of thing. She just left everything. And it was kind of a surprise when we found out that we did that. Some were like, yay! And other ones, some of them who were involved in initially were saying, oh, I didn't think we were going to rattle her that badly. She wasn't going to come back at all and quit. And it's like, well, yeah, you should have figured that out, Doug. Not so smart. But then again, I mean, they're all going, hindsight 2020, and part of the reason that they could get away with it was that they were smart. And what I mean by that is not to say other people couldn't. But part of the reason this Doug got away with it is because frequently, you get the situation where, well, you should have been working on your whatever it was instead, and he could get all his schoolwork done and nobody would be any wiser, sort of deal. Exactly. And I don't think any teacher deserves to be treated like that. There are some teachers where legit you're kind of wondering why on earth that particular individual is teaching and whatever it was that happened in their life. Because, I mean, within reason, at some point they were a student teacher, and at some point they were supervised in their teaching sort of career progress. And people don't become instantly miserable teachers after they, like when they get into the real classroom and they're not student teachers anymore. But there's a few where you kind of go, why? And you wonder what changed. And sometimes it could just be poor experiences with some of the students that changed their outlook on life. And then when kids find out they've got a chink in the teacher's armor, they exploit it for all it's worth. And the poor teacher, oh, I would not want to, yeah. Being a scout leader is bad enough and volunteer. I could not imagine being a teacher. People who are teachers are very special people. Because it's not all about being attacked and whatever, but there's some generic teasing and goofiness and whatever that is practically age appropriate, as in whatever kid's gonna try it. But there's some that just goes way too far, and nobody should be expected to have to put up with that. Ooh. Yeah, I'm really glad that that was let go, for sure. That's it. I mean, nowadays, you'd have to expect that if a teacher lights into their students by sort of seemingly yelling at them with zero provocation, the teacher won't last long. But sometimes you wonder why certain schools keep certain teachers after that sort of event has happened. So it's all, every case is unique, right? But you're right. For example, like my cousin actually trained to be a teacher, and he was hoping to be like a high school phys ed teacher. He did hockey nearly competitively his whole life and so I think, and he's great, but initially they said, okay, well, we don't have a place for you for that, but we can offer you a position teaching the younger grades, like literally the little kids, 1, 2, and 3, math. Like that's your specialty for this school. And which is odd because a lot of schools don't break up 1, 2, and 3, but whatever. Anyway, like break up the subjects for them. But in any case, that's what he was asked to do. And so of course he wants a job in his teaching field to be able to say, hey, I've been teaching for X number of years or whatever. So he took the job. And I thought that was going to be a horrible fit. I figured, okay, maybe do it for 1 year or 2. Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I have been together for 20 years. And he was a teacher before we got together, and he's still at it. It's not just the still being a teacher. He actually got asked if he wanted to move up to the higher grades so that he could actually be more of a phys ed teacher. He said no. He actually liked being the all-around type of educator for the younger kids. He just had more of a physical bent on it. And had a bit more sympathy with the kids who just need to wiggle while they're learning. And that ended up being where he was at, was that he was able to figure out through the phys ed teaching part a much more of a study of movement and help them that way. And it blew some of our minds as extended family, because sometimes he'd bring things home a little bit mentally and just say, yeah, a tough day. These little guys who just wouldn't sit down, or they just wouldn't do this, or they wouldn't do that. We thought, okay, he's not going to last. But he showed us. Which is just funny. And then I've got one friend who's a teacher and a scout leader who she keeps trying to retire, and then she keeps getting brought back going, can you sub for me for a day? Sure. And then it grows and grows and grows, and it's like, but I tried to retire, it just didn't happen. Wow. Yeah, we had one math teacher in B Silver B. Yeah, we had one math teacher. I know I'm going over, so I'm not going to do this very long. But he was part of the RCAF. No, not RCAF. RAF, I guess. So the Air Force in the UK before he moved over to Canada. And he was literally involved in some major conflicts and stuff. Once the kids found that out, ooh, did they mess with him? And I still don't approve. But little things like just generic tapping on their desk. And I mean, kids tap on their desk all the time. But sometimes they started doing it intentionally, and it wasn't even mentioned or intentionally putting messages or anything like that out there. But you would know from the way he was trained that was part of the stuff that would distract him, because he used to have to tune into, Morse code clicks and stuff coming through things. Because I guess he was a navigator or something. So anyway, he'd stop in the middle in his big British booming voice. He'd come out with the, "Who's that tapping out back there?" Whoops. So it was kind of funny. And then the other one that used to drive him absolutely bonkers, and same sort of related cause, were the kids that would start to whistle, not a tune, but sort of generic whistling in the back of the class, and some of them didn't even intend it. Like, they were whistling because that's what helped them stay focused or whatever. That one was a big no-no. If you whistled, you were in the office faster. You could say Rumpelstiltskin. And he was the only teacher that had that particular challenge with tapping and whistling or whatever. But it was because of his previous experience, and the kids really would ream him on that one. But I mean, teachers have their fun little quirks too. Like same math teacher would suck on cherry pits. So just about everybody else is all about chewing gum. Well, of course, his thing had become cherry pits. And it was purely because of the fact that the stuff used to make gum had been rationed at various different times in his life. So he developed a sort of a taste for the other and didn't like chewing gum. So of course we used to bug him about stuff like that. And people would do dumb things, kind of like the tack on the chair, but they'd put gum on their desk or whatever you're not supposed to do, and then they'd actually write on the desk to go with it in pencil. Usually, it was the Mr. Byrne put that there. Not me, it was Mr. Byrne who put that there. Knowing full well that everybody in the school knew that was not the case, because he wouldn't. But it was just kind of amusing. And the worst bit about this whole cherry pit thing, though, it's one thing when you eat your cherries and then save the pits, however you choose to do that. He would, use the same pits more than once. I've heard of people being odd and using their tea bag more than once. But I've never heard of anybody, who does, who would suck on a cherry pit after taking the cherry part off, ever save it. And then if you're gonna save it more than once, that's just weird. Very, very weird. Well, in any case, I'm up on the side of a hill. I think I'm going to release you guys to somebody else just for a little bit of variety. So let's see who's streaming at the moment. Oh, and so let's see who's out there at the moment, and hopefully there'll be some interesting folks for you guys to join in with. YouTube, you know where to find me, because I'll be around poking at Discord and stuff throughout the day. And speaking of, it'll be Discord's multiple, because I do have my own, which is quiet and not in your face, but if there's any conversation one wants to continue, or something we didn't discuss that anybody wants to bring up, or comments, questions, concerns, feel free to drop it there. It's a great way to get a hold of me. Everybody else and their dog used to have Twitter. I still do, and that's purely for stream purposes. So that's another way to tag me. Let's see, who have we got? It's Thursday, so some people are on their weekend. I think, you know what? I think we're gonna go into Lord Snarl's channel. He's got a weird title, but he's just chilling and playing some Minecraft. Now, as we talked about earlier, Lord Snarl can, the vast majority of the time, be family friendly just by default. But once you go in there, he has a a command that's like exclamation point warning. It's just letting him know that a family-friendly bunch could be coming in, and that makes sure that he's reminded to keep everything clean, and he'll actually make sure that any of his chat does as well by giving them warnings that he's booted a few of his regulars for not following that. So I think we're going to go in there and give him some support. So I'm going to start up that raid, and then we'll say our thank yous and such. There we go.
Mischief managed.
Mischief managed. Yay! Alright, so thank you very much to B Silverbeef for coming by, and to Neon Traveler for channel point spends. Thank you also to Zerk, Fantastic Fox, and Olivia Benson for being our mods today. Thank you for showing up for Tiz and Tom and Zerk. Wow, a lot of people there. And to our viewers, Neon, Hobozim, and the follow from XZX Designs. So I will, oops, mute that. Yep. And I will be sending you guys off fairly shortly. I will not be back till next Tuesday, and it'll be 12 p.m. Eastern, so the noon window again. We'll be working on prepping a different area, and we'll get ourselves going to get working on the monastery and abbey and such. So, until then, have yourselves a great weekend, and bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.